hopefully this works. Every time it doesn't work for some reason. I have a pretty awesome okay. Oh man, okay. I don't know if this is even gonna work. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna turn the TV off out of respect to you, because otherwise I just keep looking at it. And I'm trying to, respect my nature. I hesitated to say that because it makes me uncomfortable because of being smeared. If I say accept my nature, it'll, in combination with the smear campaign, it'll say, oh, so accept just being a total criminal. Just be that. And I'm like, I know that's what people will think. And so it makes me stunted. And it's like I'm stunting on people. Like, oh, by the way, let me just bring up how I'm a victim and someone else is a perpetrator. It's like I'm stunting on them, but I'm also stunting on myself because it's just not something worth talking about. And you must be getting something out of it that you don't understand, that you're not admitting. And you also don't want to target certain people by talking about them, even namelessly, where they will know. You don't want them to feel targeted by you. It's a respect thing, I think. And I was saying this earlier, and I'm laughing because I'm basically justifying myself to people who are spying on me. Like, I'm aware I'm saying this earlier, but I'm saying it again because I was saying it earlier in a video and I couldn't post it. Well, because it just wasn't good. I mean, I'm at the point now where when I get high, I don't think it's a good thing to make a video anymore. And it's not because I'm gonna embarrass myself in some self-humiliation. It's because I'm boring. And it's like every single time I've wanted to get stoned and make a YouTube video thinking I'm enlightened and this is the time that I'm really going to be able to connect with people, and I'm not sure exactly what the goal is. I, of course, assume it's sex, but I have no idea. Like, why do I even want to be impressive in the first place? Or be my best self and show that? I don't know. For who? For what? For why? I don't know. But it's what I like. I like trying to be more awesome. I like getting more awesome. Now, I don't know if that's fucked up. Maybe that's fucked up. The people who say that's fucked up would say, you're already perfect, and you just have to accept yourself as you are. And it's not that there is clearly a problem. And the problem is not that you're not perfect, it's that you think you're not perfect. And so you're trying to improve yourself, and you can't ever do that. And you use many disguises to try to improve yourself, for someone else or something, some cause, some idea. My hands are cold. I like to feel like a real person, like I'm really alive. Like I'm here. Well, I learned something when I was getting stoned. My energy has to go to my brain, and then it has to go out my brain. I thought, it's not getting stoned what matters. It's what you do with it. Some people push down. Some people let up. And the weed was blowing my mind. I'm like, what? And I was like, let up. Psh, and feels like light is shooting out my head. And I'm like, oh yeah. It felt like an ignition. And it happened multiple times. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the difference. How can some people not be happy like this when they smoke weed? Because they're not letting up. They're pushing down. So it's like their lid goes up, but their direction stays down. So they get some increased chi. But it drops down. And then that was an anchor. I mean, I have a feeling I smoked weed so many thousands of times to say, yes, you're going to forget. So we're going to go over the drill thousands of times that your energy goes up. That's its direction. And so if you're trying to figure out who you are, just remember, if you don't even know that, you don't know anything. It's not that your energy has to go up. It's that yours does go up. And it has to be able to go down too. But that only happens when you realize yours is going up. And I think I'm OCD, you know, I watch people's hands when they talk on YouTube shorts. I watch if they like twitch their hands, if there's an uncomfortable moment. I feel like when people are uncomfortable, they squeeze their hands shut. I don't know. Maybe I'm just noticing it was only one video I noticed this. But it was a kind of tense video where he had his hands out like he was a strong, tough guy and angry. But he was acting really cool. And then his twitching hands kind of became this weird signal that he looks like he's faking, like he's not angry, but he's still really mad. Like he's like righteously aggressive in his mind. And I'm not angry. And then you see his righteousness and his pretension that he's not angry because he's embarrassed that he's angry, and that his aggression is like angry aggression and not a controlled, malevolent or benevolent, force. Not like he's pretending to be moral, and then he's getting caught slobbering, laughing, mad, angry, psycho level, horror movie level angry, and but he's not going full psycho with it. He's staying politically correct about it, so it comes off as even more freaky and denatured and inhuman and scary and unfamiliar and patently crazy. I don't know what to say, if that's a good thing to say. Okay, well, that's a good enough song. And I don't know what else to say. I'm afraid to say something, but I'll just say it. I guess I'll just see what happens, okay? I started putting char siu pork sauce on my burgers, and it's 1,000,000 times better, and it tastes almost like A&W. It has that restaurant quality, that there's something extra. And I'm very impressed. It doesn't even require mayonnaise anymore, which is too expensive, so I'm done with mayonnaise. And but I make my own now, but I can't get mine to fluff up. And I'm just trying to block my thoughts out right now because I'm having a lot of intrusive thoughts. It's actually things I want to talk about, but it's just distracting me from what I'm talking about. Oh, I think I'm handling it pretty well. Normally this kind of makes me angry. I also had a nap. I love naps. And I felt like weed or no weed, whatever you say about it, weed is always good, as your friend said. And you agree. Weed is always good. It's always good to have weed around. Always. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Instant happy pill. Like a medicine. It's like you're not even in the 21st century if you don't get it. Like you'd have Tylenol for a headache. For an emotional headache, you'd have weed. Like it's just a literal medicine. It's just as trivial as being something from the pharmacy. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just like irrelevant to your real life. And to put any problem around it is so clearly a lie that it's very ridiculous. Like, oh man. Well, I mean, I'm doing this all the time. I'm like wishing I'd stop. But then I'm like, yeah, right. That's crazy. But then I'm like, well, how crazy is it? Because my autopilot is sort of taking care of it. Like, I wanted to smoke a bunch today. I had big plans for how much I was going to smoke, and I was like, I can't smoke that much. Yeah, like, I've given myself permission to smoke as much as I want, and I'm surprised to learn that I don't want to smoke as much, and I'd actually rather have a nap. And then once I got enough sleep, I was like, whatever your opinions are about weed, remember that you haven't gotten enough sleep in a while. And no matter what, no matter your most healthy diet and your perfect workout and your stretching and your meditation, if you don't get enough sleep, you're totally fucked. And so this is the you're totally fucked with weed version of you not getting enough sleep. And now that you've gotten enough sleep, you're who I am right now. Z-Bubs. Enough sleep version. The realest and the best. And it's not easy. It's not fun, and it's very lonely. And it's great at the same time, because if you don't count cash and money, I'm really ahead of just about everyone. I mean, there are very few people I could consider to be cooler than me. And even then, I could probably consider myself to be as cool as them. And, you know, maybe even cooler. And, well, I'm frozen after saying that. You know, there's certain people who I would probably not have the guts to say that to. I don't know what to say. I guess I'm a coward. But maybe not too. Maybe the version I'm at right now can say that, but I know the version I'm going to go down to when I'm not so stoned is going to not be capable of saying that. And I'm going to be like, damn it, why did you say that? I have to suffer with that now. This version of me is not graceful like you. I'm just reacting down here. I'm looking for something to react to, and this is something, and this is going to harm me. Like, why are you doing this to me? This is not responsible understanding, increased consciousness. You're not being responsible with your freedom. You're misusing it. And so talk about something that's not going to harm me. Like, I don't know what else there is to talk about. There are things that are pressing on me, but I can't even talk about them because they make me so upset. And it's not that my lesser self is going to be upset later on. They're very benign things. But I've talked about them so often, they've been my fight for so long, that they seem obviously some kind of metaphor or something. Some kind of weasel trick is happening through them. I don't know. But the idea of these dogs being adopted separately really upsets me. And whatever, I can't control it. I'm not even doing anything except complaining and saying that is super fucked up. That they've been sisters their whole lives and now they're going to possibly be separated. That is... Oh, by the way, and let me add one more thing. And apparently, according to two people, they're not bonded, which means you can separate them and they won't care. And I was like, in my mind, this is what I thought. Oh, I've heard all of the information now, and I still don't really understand how you know they're not bonded. And how would they even show they're bonded? Like, I don't know. And, well, for example, does it really prove that they're not bonded because one of them can go outside while the other doesn't? Is there any argument on that? Is that really a proof? And then they also bark. Faith barks and Hope yelps to create a horrifying sound, as if there's fear and panic, and they're doing this to try to scare people away. And that's a very complex, manipulative... They're doing street theater. They're actually crisis actors. And they're gangstalker dogs. They're clearly gangstalker dogs. Now, I'm saying this... At the same time, I'm saying these dogs are not retarded, and they need not retarded owners. But these dogs might have multiple personality or some kind of like narcissism. They might be narcissists. That might just be the lowest common denominator of people and animals is narcissism. And I think ultimately what that means is their energy doesn't let up, it just flows down. And that some animals, their energy lets up and they're enlightened. And they're like clearly different than other animals. I have to get some water. Oh, I don't want to move. This really makes me uncomfortable. I really hate this. Oh man, I hate everything about this. God, why do I hate it? I don't know. Because I'm afraid of switching personalities. That sounds kind of weird. That's just what I call it. It's more like losing the light. Well, Alexa, light. Alexa, second light, white.
Okay.
Is that too bright? Alexa, second light, turquoise.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice. I wanted to show off my face for a minute. Okay, well, if that's the only way the dogs get adopted is by being adopted separately, how would that be? That would be the worst. I would feel terrible. I'm already feeling terrible at the thought of it. But what if it was the only thing? Well, it's not my decision. But here's the thing. I think it is. Now, I know it's not literally my decision. But I sometimes think, after I smoke marijuana, that I keep people's relationships together because both of those people vicariously live through me. And as long as I'm doing well, they're able to stay together even though they're both dysfunctional and narcissistic. These dogs are less retarded than I am when I'm in retard mode. And they're like birds in, and this might be reaching, they might not like me. I mean, I certainly get the sense that Faith loves me, but she barked at me again tonight. And it's like, it's been a long time. And then she's friends, and then she's not. And then what? I forget what. Just leave me alone. Well, she must love me then too. She's always wagging her tail. It doesn't really bother me anymore as much as it bothers me on behalf of other people. But personally, I don't mind. Well, I was going to say some other gossip too, but I'm going to try to keep good karma there and say that let's just not talk about that, I think. Well, now I just have to tell you, don't I? I can't even tell you because it's not even. Well, I don't think it's too personal. I mean, I don't think I'd get in trouble for saying this. My mom was walking the dogs, and someone had their dog out on their porch or something, and Faith went to run at the dog, but couldn't because was on the double leash with her sister, Hope, and Faith snarly barked or went at Hope, wanting to get to the other dog, but no other dog was available, so she just took it out on Hope, it seemed like. And Hope may have fought back, and then based on that, the dogs were going to be rehomed in separate fosters and split up, and they've been sisters their whole lives based on that incident. And my mom was like, it's okay, that's not. And I was like, please don't split them up based on that, if that's just such a trivial reason. It didn't even seem like a true kind of attack. And the only time I won't get in the dog's faces, I still do and nothing bad has happened, but it seems like something I shouldn't do, is if there's someone here and they're barking at them and I'm trying to get the dogs on the leash while they're, for example, yelping, because Hope just starts yelping when there's someone nearby, and Faith barks, and so I'm like getting their leashes on to take them up to a bedroom, and they're in panic mode, and I'm trying to corner them and get the leash on them, and it's like I probably shouldn't do this because they're like, you know, quickly darting their head, yelping, and it's like, you know, are they darting their head as a mock attack on my hand, or is that a real, you know, what's going on with that? And they're really in emergency mode, and it's intense. So no, they've never bitten anyone. They've never bitten me. So I think they're careful dogs. They're not retarded dogs. So they need a real person to adopt them. And if there is people who adopt them who are adopting only one of them, that would just really break my heart. Even if we adopted one of them, that would just, whatever. I'm just complaining. That's all I'm doing. I just want my opinion to be known. And now Hope laid outside my bedroom door today, and she just went, and she just did that nonstop. I looked at her like she was the devil, and I said, "Are you a bad dog?" Oh my God, I've never seen it till this very moment. You're actually just sitting outside my room, harassing me. Like, you sick dog. So these dogs are very manipulative. And they're very quick to be your best friend when they get caught. They're always just wagging their tails. I like saying good morning to them. Today was the first day I thought, I don't know if I like you. Because I never thought that. I mean, obviously I thought it a whole bunch at the very beginning. But then, since then, I've learned that I like sacrificing for them. I'm sleep deprived, but I actually enjoy it. I love just greeting them in the morning, and it's precious. Now, maybe they're really not pair bonded, in which case, who gives a fuck? And true, adopt them out however you have to. Maybe they'll have new dog friends. Maybe it's that person's second or third dog they're adopting. So it's not so bad. I just imagine it like a prison, like, you know, each one by themselves with some owner the rest of their life, with some retard. That would really upset me. So I'm thinking, if I wanted to actually keep them, the method would be to keep letting up, which doesn't necessarily depend on eating fruit. I've only been able to do it while eating fruit, and I've thought many times, you know, this is psychological, right? And I was like, no, I don't. I think it's actually physical. And that throws a whole bunch of ideas that I have out that I've been holding on to. Like, I have to put in all this effort, and really I can just not put in any effort, and I can get the same result. I've come to identify the effort as the result. That's what I fear, that I'm gone crazy. Oh yeah, I'm happy because I'm trying. And meanwhile, everything I try fails and is stupid and intentionally failing. Everything I do is self-sabotaging. And I feel proud of it, like these stupid dogs being proud after they bark at someone. I mean, you can only help but laugh, you know, at the ridiculousness of the dog. And it's not even like you're trying to condone the dog's behavior. It's like the dog is so helplessly inept that and ironic. And you also love the dog too. So you laugh because you'd cry otherwise. This poor dog. I wanted to take the dog to a field and shoot a gun in the air because I saw it on a YouTube channel where this dog guy does this. And he says if a dog isn't scared when you shoot a gun, it's not like some kind of Wolf Creek thing where you shoot at the dog's paws and say dance. You shoot even a blank gun. Just you want the loud bang noise, and you want to train the dog to not freak out during that. And then anything less than that, and the dog still doesn't freak out. So it's like the ultimate tempering for your dog to not bark at things. And then I would take the dogs to the leash-free dog park and let them get into... I mean, that would be irresponsible, maybe. I already would do that, but I don't know what these dogs would do. But I mean, I would just take them to the leash-free dog park and I'd say they're good dogs, damn it, and just see what happens. And let them have a fight. And let them get their true status in the dog world, so they can get some sense in them and not have to act like they're the Hulk or something, or I don't know, they're just always, the only thing that's wrong with these dogs is they bark at everything, including me, but I'm not even upset by it anymore. So I feel like I have a metaphysical body, an energetic body, that's hovering inside my physical body. And my energetic body can be bigger than my physical body too. But if I get too far outside my physical body with my energetic body, then I lose my energetic body and then I lose my soul. So you'll have to excuse me, I'm just barely hallucinating. Suddenly drawn to the sort of, I don't know what it's called, a certain kind of light in your eyes. If you close your eyes after looking at a light bulb, and then you see you see some kind of, I mean, I think I was being sex lexic, where instead of having sex, when I'm supposed to be having sex, I'm dyslexic instead. And there was some mix-up of the first letter of those words. After it was supposed to be kind, some kind. So I was like... Well, anyways, there's a commercial on that's making me uncomfortable. I wish I had something to say. But maybe I have something to do. Oh my god, now I have to listen to 2 more commercials. Well, for energy to flow up, you need a certain abundance of it. For a certain abundance of it, you have to know how to meditate. I'm still happy about my Bluetooth receiver. It's amazing to not have to have your iPad on you, listen to free YouTube without needing YouTube Premium, because you can basically get the cushiest situation for music. But it's free for a month, I want to try it. I'm not sure where I'm going with my diet. It took me a while to be able to get on that topic without going into self-hatred. Don't know if that's delusional, thinking that a lot is invested in my diet more than just how I look. Once I get my diet right, then I'm going to be a super genius who's super hot, and I'm going to live in a mansion with a hot babe. Sometimes I'm like, you're a loser, and you're always going to be. You suck, you're mediocre. You always were, and you always will be. And you've always been pretending otherwise, like you're one step away from figuring out the magic formula that's keeping you down. Really, you're just average. And I'm like, no, you got the stupid look on your smile. You can't, that's not real. I don't believe a word of that. You sound way too polished. You sound like Hank Hill. You sound like a sales pitch. Someone I know said, I used to know, I guess. I don't know them anymore. They don't talk to me anymore. That the people who write King of the Hill are really far out in their humor. Their humor is really, really dark. Or something to that effect. I don't know if she said it like that. And it's obvious just by how they write King of the Hill. It's almost like the mockery of people is so subtle that it proves that they're really critical of their that they're really critical of people. So far, I think I've did a good job at this podcast. I'm really excited about it. This is like really the best thing for me in the world is being able to share my consciousness. It's really the best. It's my favorite thing. And when I don't have it, I'm like, oh, I need views. I need some substance. I'm empty over here. I'm running on empty over here. Come on. I gotta get my nut. I gotta get my nut. Come on. Come on. Hey, answer the door. You know, like, it's fucked up. No one acts like that. No one acts like that. But that's how they are. That's how people are. But it doesn't have to be that way. It's not supposed to. Well, then another thing happens. So to use drugs to get the spiritual experience, you have to first know how to meditate. And then the drugs bring your energy up by like 1,000. And then so it forces you to either blast the energy upwards, where it comes out your crown chakra and goes through all your other chakras. And that's letting up. Or your energy is to push it down. And it will move up regardless of your pushing, but it will come back down again. And then when you know how to meditate and keep it up, but then your weed starts to wear out and your energy starts to go down, not because you're imbalanced and an improper host to the energy, but that because the energy is just simply dissipating because it's stimulant energy. It's not part of your regular amount of energy. Like as if you were to eat apples. And that's not mystical, that's very scientific. If you wanted to say no, it's just a psychological thing that you can only feel spiritual when you're physically healthy. It's not psychological, it's physical. Because the energy has to come from somewhere. But then I'm trying to keep it alive still too. I'm not just going to be smoking and smoking. I'm trying to feel spiritual. And like there's a line that goes through my body, and I'm making connection with it through my imagination and my feelings. I'm tethering my imagination with my feelings with this image of a line that goes through my body. And it's very cartoonish, like something like from Fallout. And I have to keep the energy directed upwards in that image. Or like, yeah, it's like an image. I mean, my imagination isn't really very vivid. And by the time it starts working in movies, it's usually not really something I can control what the movie is. And so that imagining it up is perhaps not the real thing. It might just be an anchor to the real thing to let up to a certain feeling that I have no description for of letting up, which is ultimately just the short version of this image that I'm providing here. Of just focusing up. I mean, there's not really much of a sophisticated way of saying it. It was tangibly obvious while taking big draws. And then it gets less obvious as the energy dissipates. But I think with better meditation, I can keep the feeling, because I just have to keep it up to my crown. And both are traits, when energy moves up and when it moves down. But if you don't know which way it's moving, then it's stuck in one. And it's never good. It's always shallow and unfulfilling. Keeps you in sex, keeps you in bondage, keeps you twisted forever. Well, I miss Rice Krispie squares. And maybe butter chicken. I don't know. I almost got watermelon today. Instead, I got more cooked food. And it's amazing. And char siu sauce on a burger is amazing, and it's the best. And I'm so happy I figured it out. And mushrooms and onions fried with the char siu sauce, and that on the burger. And we got mushrooms and red onion, but I used white onion. They were from a big bag. and they're tiny, like the size of shallots. And then, what else? I want to make pad thai. That's the thing I want to make most of all. But I've already put hot sauce on my chow mein, and I have a feeling that chow mein has a lot in common with pad thai. But I've not had fried bean curd. There's some things I really want. And I've pretty much run out of money. I mean, I can't afford to get high either. I'm doing some things to stop myself from getting high on weed. I'm taking some measures to make sure that I'm not going to be smoking weed. And because, yeah, it's profound. But you can't get enough sleep, can you? Like, are you sure? Because you're not getting enough sleep. Because you're too excited to smoke more weed. Do you know how fucked that is? And then everything you say looks and sounds like shit. Well, I guess you don't have synesthesia or whatever. Or maybe there's a different word for if you see words. I don't know what that's called. But I also want to make some cheese again, which I'll be able to make way better. Oh, what would I do different? I'd add pea protein, make the protein ratio the same as real cheese. Oh my god, that would be good. And where does the sex energy go? Into your head? Into the tip of your skull? Goes out your crotch, into the air, and then back into your skull. And it flows in a circle. The circle moves backwards and down. I didn't mean to hiss at you. Sorry about that. I must have some weird unconscious issue that actually weirds me out. And I would be weird if I wasn't weirded out by that. But I am weird. And I'm not weirded out by it. But it was weird. Yeah. I'm so not weird, I can be weird. But only a little bit. It still harms me. But what does it mean to be weird? It seems to have two meanings. Dirty pervert, creepy weird pervert, and then eccentric nerd, or adorable OCD Asperger's guy. I'm not saying I have OCD and Asperger's. And I forgot what I was talking about. I mean, it just stopped making sense. I was about to say, and then your energy flows up and it goes out your head and into your crotch in a circle. And I was like, that's complete bullshit. What the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, a feeling. It's a feeling I'm talking about. It's my real experience, isn't it? And then I was like, I got intellectual. I said, well, what's the difference then between it moving one way and the other if both are good? And it's only bad if you don't know which one you're in, because then you're stuck in that one, and then no energy really moves. Well, it's bad when no energy really moves, because then you have to get into S&M and, you know, being a real criminal pervert in order to get a boner. And, or, you know, to get aroused. And you know, it's all in compensation to not being able to have an orgasm, being afraid of it, because your energy moves out and you're afraid of losing anything because you're a miser, because you're a greedy, snakely little freak. And so I don't know. Well, so your energy is doing the same thing no matter what, but once you know it, then it's different. And how big is the circle? It flows out your dick and out your head and it meets in a circle. It's infinity big. So it's really exciting. And is there an option to not have those two energies meet and it just doesn't meet? I don't think so. Maybe, but I think what people would call that, if that were to happen and people had to name it, they would say that's the energies not meeting and looping, but dissipating instead. And I would say the energy always loops, but the feeling of it dissipates as your awareness of it dissipates. And what is your awareness? Well, you can't answer that except with your own experience. I'm not even hungry too after I smoke and I'm in a Zen state, or when I'm just plainly relaxed and happy. I don't even need to eat, but I do anyway because I'm thinking of all these recipes, especially while I was fasting. And I'm a way better cook now. And so I can make everything cheaper. I know how to make things cheaper and better now by a lot. So they say if you eat every other day, you'll eat double as much. Statistically, people take revenge for their diets and eat double as much later. And I've been no exception. I've been, after fasting, just totally, I have so much eating to do. My interest to eat is crazy. But I also remember, just focus on your chi. And you'll get more of it without eating, because you're eating Chinese food. And that's like making you loaded. You're getting drunk on Chinese food. That's making you unconscious. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm testing my meditation. I'm doing the ultimate Zen training. Who the fuck are you? I'm enjoying my Zen training and you're giving me a lecture. Are you joking? I'm succeeding and you're giving me a lecture. And I'm like, my lecture self is like, no, you're not succeeding. You're, And I'm like, look, you just lost your train of thought, so let me interject. You're failing a lot is what you're going to say, but what I would say is, I'm not failing right now, so don't compare that. Every other time I failed, I said, okay, I'm going to fail now. It's easier to fail, so I'm going to do it. I call it being on vacation from growth. But what's the point of growth if you're stuck at the same level for so long and it just feels hopeless? Nothing. You have to be playful. It has to be light and easy. And that way you find it. It's for connoisseurs only, I think. But I feel warm. I feel good. I feel comfortable. I feel calm and peaceful. I feel unified. I feel sharp and intelligent. I feel vibrant and glowing. I feel present. And I'm in love with it. It's my beloved. It's the best thing I've ever experienced. And all I want is to keep it forever and to go further into it. But I lose focus so often, lose balance. I'm going further into it, saying, yeah, and then all of a sudden I'm not sharp anymore, not integral anymore, and unified and flowing. Suddenly I'm all twisted up again. There's jolts and tensions, missed spots, missing spots. It's like being redacted. It's like part of your feelings are redacted. You're feeling your torso and in your stomach, there's like redacted lines and you can't feel them. But it's not like a sexual thing. I'm gonna have to listen to another commercial. This is horrifying. Is there a car outside? I don't think so. Sounds like there's an engine idling. Okay, well, I'm feeling better now. I had a moment of going down a lot of levels it took me a minute to get out of it. So I didn't feel in the moment anymore. I got fucking lost in time. Time is the mind, and time is hell. All I want is to stay in the present. I'm just trying to stay timeless, which in less spiritual terms and more plain terms, like layman terms, is I'm just trying to stay beautiful. And beauty is pain, and I'm a weakling. Of course, beauty is the pain of not eating the junk food. Everyone says they're a model, but to actually be a model, you have to wake up at 6 in the morning. And in my case, to actually be super hot, I have to not eat salt in such quantities. And I have to drink a certain amount of water to keep my cells hydrated, to look really good, to feel really good. And I just don't have the effort to do it. And it's disturbing. It's like, I don't know. It's like embarrassing, shameful. Yeah. But what about your recent discovery that it also has a lot to do with how much sleep you get? Yeah, but then I also don't sleep enough because I'm too excited to smoke more. But not always. Kind of. That's kind of true. I should maybe watch some TV. I don't know. I do a lot with my breath. It becomes like Morpheus and I'm Neo and we're in a dojo. It's that important. It's not really that intense. It doesn't have to be like some look on your face like you're, coming. But like, I don't know what I'm talking about. It can be relaxed too. But why bring up the coming thing? Because sometimes when your energy flows out, if it flows out a lot, if it flows down and out, and you try to block it, you're going to instantly bust a nut. I mean, it'll be on the spiritual realm, but it'll still be in your spiritual body. And it might not be in your physical body. But it might be. And you have to not resist it for it to go all the way back into your head. And that's the secret of enjoying sex, which is the secret of having an orgasm, which people don't know because people don't enjoy sex. That's why they're obsessed with it. They use it as a tension relief and they're scared of it. Because if they actually had an orgasm, they would have spirituality. Spirituality is embedded in biology it's the symptom of enjoying sex. Because eventually that leads your energy so high that it flows up. And to enjoy, you have to have downwards flowing energy. But if you don't have both upwards and downwards, you don't have either. So to figure out how to have an orgasm, you have to figure out how to be spiritual. And that's a natural process. Well, I think that's all I have to talk about. So, Alexa, second light, white.
Okay.
It looks yellow in here. And maybe I'm hearing images because I said it sounds yellow in here. This is excessively yellow. Alexa, second light, black.
Okay.
This is how I usually have it. I like this one a lot. Well, I think it's been a long time. And look at my cute little microphone. And so anyways, goodbye.